What up, people? What up, what up, what up? It's your boy B Sims back at you again. I sound corny. We're gonna get this intro thing figured out. But back at y'all again with yet another, great topic that I feel that is very, very relevant, will be prevalent, and will be freeing to whomever will take charge and take initiative on doing what it do. So as you can see, I'm just gonna tell you flat out, we are entering an era of emotional healing. This is something that I'm very excited about, not only for me, but for other men, other women in this world, in the culture, believers, not believers. I'm excited for their families, just the generations to come to, receive the fruits of what this whole emotional healing era is going to be all about. Because I believe it's about time, and I'm just grateful, the scripture that really resonates pertaining to this topic comes out of Psalms 34:18. And it says, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." I believe that, especially men in particular, emotionally, we are so weak. Let's just be real. Not talking about it don't mean you're strong. I believe that that's weak. We are emotionally scared. We're emotionally disconnected. We're emotionally just traumatized. You know what I mean? There's so many different things that have, and I'm speaking for me, and I believe that any other man or woman can relate to this as well. The emotional. The lack of emotional awareness, the lack of emotional accountability, if you will, was stemmed by a whole bunch of trauma in the past. You know what I'm saying? And I truly believe, in regards to this scripture, we have to understand, we have to internalize, and we have to believe that God, He is close. We all all of our hearts are broken to some degree. But it says that He will save those who are crushed in spirit. And we all crushed in spirit to some degree. And I believe that this scripture really speaks to the importance and the importance of just really breaking free from that emotional incarceration, and that's something that man, we overcoming. We overcoming. This is the era of emotional healing, and I'm excited. One thing, so what even inspired this subject for me? A friend of mine sent me a screenshot of just this Instagram post. And it was titled, "We are entering an emotional era of emotional healing." And I'm just like, dang, that's real. Like, we really are entering this, we are, because you see so many different podcasts, so many different, platforms of men, women, really expressing how they feel. And I feel like that's important, because at the end of the day, that's why so many families been broken up. That's why so many relationships been broken up. That's why so many friendships been broken up, because we don't talk about the things that bother us. Hindsight is a blessing, and it can also make you feel a lot of regret as well. Because if we really looked in hindsight about a lot of situations, about a lot of relationships, about a lot of even relationships romantically, family, whatever, in hindsight, if we really would have just sat down, put our ego to the side, we could have reconciled that relationship, or whatever the case may be. So that brings me to, for me, what changed my perspective on emotions, and it changed it changed the sense of urgency for me really like overcoming that emotional jail that I was in. And this is Jason Wilson, Waging the War Within, Battle Cry. Battle Cry, Waging the War Within. That's the book that really, and God is so good, you know what I mean? He really put resources and opportunities in your hand to really help you see, help you be able to think about and understand a different way of thinking. So this book was the foundation for me. Foundation for me, understanding like, bro, like you gotta learn how to talk about these things. When I first really started talking about my emotions with people, relationships that I was in, I'm not gonna lie, like I felt very, very unheard. I felt, I felt misused. I felt I felt like a sucker. I did though. Like I really felt like a sucker, like, cause it's like it was something that I was not used to. You know what I'm saying? But as time went on, therapy attached to that, different spiritual advisors attached to that, I slowly but surely built up courage, confidence, and just boldness in talking about my emotions. I still struggle with, feeling like, but, I know what's on the back end of that. I know what's at the end of that tunnel. I'm going to talk about it, and I don't care. You feel me? So a quote out of this book, my boy Jason Wilson, shout out to him. The quote out of this book, it said, when you learn how to express your emotions in a healthy way, you can become a source of healing instead of an instrument of pain. And I believe a lot of men can relate to this. Like, we have helped, and there is a narrative on men just being emotional, like toxic, toxic when it comes to emotions. Why? Because one, we don't know how to deal with them. We were never taught. Two, because we don't care. Three, because we scared. Four, because we don't have the right perspective when it comes to emotions. We can go down a list as to why it has been barriers behind us men not really talking about or really solving our emotional traumas. You know what I'm saying? So, but I do believe that, when you learn how to express your emotions in a healthy way, you become a source of healing instead of an instrument of pain. And so for me, I believe I've become a source of healing for my children. At first, when they were born, I would say I was an instrument of pain because I was still just childish and just like so emotionally imbalanced. You know what I mean? But now, along with me sharing affirmations with them, they're sharing affirmations to me. We act on those affirmations as well. I am love, I am joy, I am peace, I am patient. God gives us, when my son is acting out, I probably shared this before, but there was a time when my son, we was at the doctor's office, his sister Bella was there. My son was just having a tantrum, you know what I mean? And he just was irritable. I think he just, he was 2 years old, you know what I mean? So what I did was, because I was more in tune, a little like a year from that, I would have spazzed out with him. I would have probably whooped him. I would like, champ, like, you know what I'm saying? What are you doing? This, that, and the third. But I was able to identify, and that's another thing. It gives you the discernment. When you're become to this place of emotional stability, and just maturation in your emotions, you're able. God blesses you with some discernment from other unstable, emotionally unstable people, and that's beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Because the way that you can just calm a situation with just your silence, with just one right word to say, or just some compassion. You know what I'm saying? Rather than, fighting fire with fire. But I was given the opportunity with my son to really master his emotions in that situation, because all we did, we took the walk, and I talked to him, and I was telling him, like, hey, bro, like, you got to show self-control. I understand. I'm talking to him straight, like, he's 2 years old. You have to learn how to have self-control in these times of, just frustration. You know what I mean? It didn't work because he kept going, but as time go on, my son, he's really like leveled up when it comes to his emotions, and he's only 3 years old within a year. You know what I mean? I have seen a big change in his behavior. You know what I'm saying? Because there was a little period of time where he was, we had to come and get him from school because he was just tripping, like, being real emotional, whatever the case may be, angry, whatever you want to call it. But I do see improvement, and that is because the lead of my family, I was able to, get my emotions in check when I deal with him. Yes, it's challenging. Yes, it's very, very scary. You make you feel real uncertain about stuff. But at the end of the day, on the back end of that, and and even on the front end of that, like, you get the rewards are just beautiful, and I truly believe that, man. Like, and it's coming. It's coming. We in that era, man, and I'm so proud of the kings and queens that are actively, getting the help that they need. Whether that be therapy, spiritual counseling, accountability partners, meditation. Even if you're doing it by yourself, if you're progressing, I commend you. I respect you. I love you. I appreciate you, because you're not only doing that for you, you're doing that for the generations after you. Like, real talk, like, because especially the people with kids, man, like, or even people that don't got kids, but have mentees or children that look up to you. You know what I'm saying? What you feed yourself and what you overcome internally and what you don't overcome internally, whomever you have those personal relationships with, and even just the casual relationships with, man, you project that onto them, and you influence them in some type of way. Back on my podcast with Faithfulness, man, like, I expressed like my and even just not mine, but as leaders, as mothers, brothers, sisters, fathers, aunties, uncles, my faithfulness, your faithfulness to God, can either sway, yay or nay, somebody whomever is looking up to you for guidance. And that's just the reality of it. Not to put a lot of pressure on you, but it does say in the word, to whom much is given, much is required. And that's a fact. You know what I mean? God has blessed us individually with some type of gift and somewhere that we're going to lead and serve people. And it is our obligation, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally, to, really stand firm on our leadership, stand firm on, our emotional stability, and really, go after it full-heartedly. You know what I'm saying? And that's real. And when we start doing that, we're going to see men expressing their feelings like none other. I was just looking at a podcast. It said Men, Sex, and Kevin Samuels. Shout out to Kevin Samuels, RIP Kevin Samuels, man. And it was two men and a woman, and these men were on this podcast expressing how they felt about things, marriage, family, and that is just like, that's beautiful to me, because it takes a lot of courage, a lot of humbleness, a lot of just, just man, to express your feelings, it's truly how you feel. Because there's been instances where I've been in conversations with women that I've dated and they told me like, nigga, stop acting like a bee. They said, stop acting like a bitch. That's what they told me. And I'm just like, and those was one of the things that blocked me from expressing my emotions. Yeah. So that's what we will see. We will see men expressing their emotions. We will also see boundaries as norms. That's another thing that we don't have, we don't establish. We need those boundaries with people, period. No matter what the degree of the relationship. Romantic, we in a marriage, we boyfriend and girlfriend, we're brother and brother, we cousin and cousin, we auntie and nephew, auntie and niece. You have to establish some type of boundaries with the conversations that you have with people, because what you feed into yourself, is, or I don't care how strong of a mind that you have, whatever you feed into people, whatever you hear and see, and you can't control everything you see, but the things that you intentionally pay attention to, you know what I'm saying? You're going to be influenced about it. You're going to be influenced about it. Period, point blank. If you very successful financially, right? And you just every now and then, intentionally, without any type of positive intentions, hang out with people that are continuously making financial mistakes, you know what I mean? And having conversations about that and not really putting your 2 cents in and giving them some game, or however the case may be, in some degree, you're going to start having that same train of thought in some degree. I was an alcoholic. I used to drink. Nah, college did that to me, y'all. I'm gonna be honest. But I do have some wine every now and then, no lie, but I do believe that this era is gonna cause for less alcohol intake. Because it's crazy. It's crazy. Like, man, I know I've been able to drink, until I blacked out, and continuously all week. We're not talking about just a weekend thing. We're talking about what's up? Let's do it. I believe, but on my journey of, really healing emotionally, because all that is attached, what's attached to that, us drinking, we just trying to mask something. We trying to feel another way than what we already feeling. Like, real talk. Like, that's, like, I don't, especially when you're trying to get belligerently drunk, you know what I'm saying? And you just really, like, come on. I've done it, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, yes, another thing in this, this new era, getting sun is so relieving. I still struggle with depression a lot, you know what I'm saying? And I can stay in the house all day, but I found that, like, getting outside, really, like, taking in the moment and just smelling the air, is very, very freeing. Like, it really is, like, you know what I'm saying? So, and I do more of that. I want to be outside more. You know what I'm saying? Not in that way. I ain't outside. But I like to be outside more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't mind it. You know what I'm saying anymore? It's more, it's cool. We're also going to focus more on emotional regulation. Emotional regulation is really compartmentalizing the emotions. I do this thing where I'm very, very I can get emotionally distracted. So if I'm focusing on something sometime, I can get very, very distracted emotionally because I'm thinking about something. It can just throw me way off. But I've noticed, understanding that more and more that I, seek God, more and more that I seek help with therapy, spiritual advisors, OGs, I'm able to regulate my emotions better because they're going to come. Emotions are like visitors. They will leave because I can be, it's crazy. Like a couple weeks ago, I was so depressed for 2 days straight. And like that third day, I felt like a new man. So they come and go, as we become more emotionally free. I believe that, we will be able, our emotions we will put them in more of a positive perspective. I heard something today. I heard a word, and he was just, I don't know verbatim what he said, but he said we're going to take our problems and all that stuff, and we're going to understand before we even start going through, or even when we're going through those things, we're going to know that it's going to be used for our good. Same things with our emotions. We have to understand that, like, there's a reason for this. There's a reason. They were talking about Job and what he went through. You know what I mean? Going through all of that. And at the end, God gave him twice as many animals, and twice as got his kids back. He lost 10 kids, got 10 more. You know what I mean? Twice of what he lost. When the struggle and the trauma and all that stuff, started. Job, he lost all that and got everything back. But he had to go through that. We have to go through these emotional things and these traumas and these problems to build character. Because at the end of the day, problems are going to continuously happen, right? They are. Period, point, dot. They are. So as leaders, as believers in God, as people that's trying to get to the next level, we have to understand that this struggle that we're going through will be used to help somebody else out. And that's what we on this planet for anyways. Let's just be real. To serve and glorify God's kingdom in our service, whatever that may be. And to do that, to be able to effectively serve people to whatever capacity that you're serving them, you have to have the capacity and you got to have that skin. You got to have that. I done been through something, so I know, because ain't nobody, you can't teach me how to box if you ain't never boxed before. I mean, the most successful people, and I've said this before, and I understand that and believe that. And I know it because I'm still in a season of something. But the most successful people have been, oh my God. You want to talk about hell? I heard a testimony today that was just like, man, but he's doing it. He's doing this thing. So it's like that understanding, the developing the emotional regulation. When we regulate those emotions, and then even in the back of our head, knowing like, okay, I'm going through this, boom, 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 this, that, and the third, but I know there's some good that's gonna come out of it. I know there's a reason. I may be going through some anxiety. I may be going through some insecurity. But when I'm able to overcome that, I can give Champ the game so that he don't even have to touch that. Or when he does go through that, I can be an example of what it looks like to overcome it, give him the tools to I told y'all we becoming overcomers, It's facts. It's facts. And I'm so excited, man, because it's just like, man, I'm grateful. You know what I'm saying? We ain't going to stay in this now, but I'm just grateful for this era, man. Stay in all the troubles and all that stuff, but I'm so grateful for this emotional, freeing era, because at the end of the day, do you know, the generation, man, I'm going to be honest, Bella and Champ, they're going to be out cold. They gonna be out cold. I promise y'all. Like they're gonna be, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like I got faith in that. I got faith in that. They're not going to fall for the same traps. I'm speaking that right now. They're not. They're not gonna fall for the same traps that I did. They're not gonna be emotionally afraid like I was. I'm speaking that in them. They're going to be loving. They're going to be kind. They're not going to be perfect, but they're going to have the fundamentals to have a successful life, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, which will carry them forever. They're going to have that. Because we in this era, baby. Childhood trauma awareness. We gonna figure that out. You know what? That's in this era. That's what we're gonna be able to relate so many childhood traumas to the issues and the struggles that's going on right now. I figured out why I didn't like dogs, and a lot of people. I figured out why I didn't like animals, but I figured out why I didn't like dogs though. Particularly. So I was living with my dad in Detroit, and I had got this dog. His name was Big Man. He was an American Bulldog. He was pretty. I mean, he was 6 months. Our neighbor gave him to me because he found him at this old guy's house that wasn't taking care of him. He was malnourished. My dad and, me, my dad, and my little brother, we all my dad, he did most of the work, but, you know what I'm saying, we all, helped the dog, nurse the dog back to health. I mean, he got fluffy, big. I walked him every day, played with. I mean, dog was my best friend, real talk. I really love that dog, for real. Big Man, shout out to Big Man. I don't know where he at. But one day I came home, man, Big Man was gone. That crushed me because it was like he was literally what I was looking forward to when I went home, because I didn't really like being in Detroit because I was down there because I was on some behavioral stuff. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's another podcast. I've overcame that. But anyways, but yeah, man, I was salty. Big Man was they stole Big Man. 'Cause, I was living in the trenches too. So now I can't stand dogs. I like, especially them little dogs. You know what I'm saying? But identifying that childhood trauma has made me be able to identify why I'm struggling with what I'm struggling with. Now I'm having a different perspective now because I'm single, you know what I'm saying, and all that stuff. I'm thinking about getting a little dog, just a little rescue dog. You know what I'm saying? Because that was and I'm just being fully transparent with y'all. You know what I'm saying? That really hurt me. You know what I'm saying? When Big Man got stolen, and but now I'm able to identify why. Okay, Brian, you were sorry that they took that from you. You know what I'm saying? Now you just look at dogs like, I even got a dog when I was in college, and her name was Gigi, and man, I ain't treat that dog right. She ain't like living with us. Shout out to G. She ran away from me, y'all. But yeah. So yes, being able, in this era, we're identifying those childhood traumas. We're identifying them. You got trust issues. You got insecurities. You got anxiety. You're going to understand and identify what happened when you was a little boy or girl that make you act like that. And you ain't gonna blame situations, because that's what we do. We struggle with things, and then we blame, this or what we saw or what we think we saw. But it's something that you dealt with way down yonder somewhere. Real talk. And it's freeing when you see that. You're like, okay, this why I'm acting like this. And it's something that nobody you even dealt with got even control of. You know what I'm saying? And then so you're able to take charge. You know what I'm saying? To overcome that. So every time you face with those feelings, you know what I'm saying? You just like, man, bro, I ain't about that. This ain't what happened when I was a child. I'm grown. I overcame that. This is different. We in a different season. We in the era of emotional healing, baby. It ain't going like that. It ain't going. In this, we're going to have more community building. Man, I'm gonna be honest, like, going to this, new church, you know what I'm saying? For me, it's great, man. It's other young men and women that are, seeking God and, my age, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not used to that, you know what I'm saying? And it's dope. So, and I'm able to build a community, be a part of a community, you know what I'm saying, that's on the same type of time that I'm on, that may have had the same type of struggles, you know what I'm saying, and seeking the same person, God, that I'm trying to seek. You will see more generosity in this area. We will be more generous. We will be more generous, whatever that may look like for you. I'm not saying money. I'm not saying time. We will be more generous. We won't be stingy with all that. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be more generous. And we will see people reaching their true potential. I can say that was something that I always battled with. High school, college, always like, man, all I'm living with is potential. But we will see people living through their true potential. We will see people on their mission, establishing their vision and going after it every day. We will see that in this area of emotional healing. I speak that, I know that, I believe that. We will see people living their true potential. If you're an aspiring business owner, if you're an aspiring doctor, if you're an aspiring nurse, if you're an aspiring actor, you will live your true potential, because on this emotionally rebuilding journey, this era, those things won't hold you back. Because let's be honest, like, a lot of the times, we struggle with things emotionally, and it just pulls us down so hard that we don't even have the energy, literally, to do something. We don't even got the confidence or the courage to go after what we've been trying to go after. So this era, and I believe that because I'm speaking to myself, this era, we will live with our true potential, period, point, dot. And we ain't going to be depressed. We ain't going to be depressed. And I ain't trying to hear it. I speak that over you if you're listening to this. I pray that God reveals to you your vision that's going to be attached to your mission. I pray that God breaks you free from any emotional trauma that you have went through, are going through, and will go through. I know that God will deliver you from any and everything that is holding you back. We bind the devil in all of his attacks, mentally, emotionally, physically, health-wise. You will overcome any and everything that you've been going through. I believe that. I hope you receive that, and I hope you internalize that, because it's up. And once it's up, and it's going to be stuck up there for generations to come, because it's over. It's over. It's over. All this emotional, bondage that we be in, and they be holding us back from, not really being able to operate in our true greatness, that's over with. Because that's what it really be boiling down to. We don't be taking care of the main vein, but this era, we taking care of the main vein, period, point, dot. We taking care of the main vein. And remember, I am love. I am joy. I am peace. I am patient. I am kind. I am faithful. I am gentle. I am generous, and I have self-control. I'm done, y'all. I'm done. Praise God. I love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. Got a little amped up, but man, I believe that, man. I believe that, this era of emotional freedom on men, women, we're going to be seeing more families, all that, man. We can go on and on, but that's what we will see. Thank y'all for tuning in. I love y'all. Y'all have a wonderful rest of y'all day, and peace.